Welcome to another episode of the Gaming Kitchen. So, I want to talk about the um, situation here known as microtransactions and what to look forward to and how we got to this point in games. I released two videos, two saga pieces called uh, two saga pieces called um, MLB The Show 25. It's already bad, which was a play on a word from play on a title from the other dude. It's getting bad. There is a problem in this community, in this gaming community, that I have to get off the old chest here and talk about when I call out other people within MLB The Show 25 or 24, 23, or 21. And I want to hold those people to a esteem and a regard to where we're not talking about opinions, okay? Because I went to KDJ's video, KDJ TV, where he says content problems aren't um, content problems aren't even trying to hide anymore. So here's my issue in all of this right here. This whole microtransaction thing, this whole spider web of greed, which is what I call it, is often uh, babyfied by content creators who are supposedly calling out SDS, but they never do. They walk on eggshells. They beat around the bush, but they never get to the point of where things should be, of calling out SDS. Because now we've gotten into this whole thing where SDS is in a league of its own. It's not as bad as EA Sports is, or as 2K is, or as Mutt is, or Team, or whatever FIFA does. And no, they're always better. They're always better. You hear these content creators say that. But all the while, when they make their videos, they make titles like that. MLB The Show is getting bad. Or like what KDJ said, the content problems aren't even trying to hide anymore. And then when you watch their videos, they'll say, much like the reply to me was, I did call him out in this video. And I'll sit up here and I'll watch the video. And I will watch the video. I'll give you a view. I'll make sure you get your value or whatever. And when I sit up here and I watch the video, I see them tiptoe around it. And this is what they'll say. Guys, I don't want to say they're like Madden. I don't want to say they're predatory. Predatory is a bad word. I don't want to use the word greedy. I don't want to use the word money greedy, money grabbing. I don't want to say those words. I don't know what word to use in all of this. I don't know. But it's just bad news, my fellow followers. It's just bad news. Call it like you see it. And I don't back down when these content creators contact me and talk to me, because I know what I see. And I posted on this thread, and I said, The issue is content creators like you, Gnomes, and EDC beat around the bush and not hold them accountable and call them out on their predatory EASBS. Instead, you all walk on eggshells instead of going for them. It's cool. Keep that energy up. Because when your mode comes and goes like the same way, just understand you and even the people here have participated in this. So then I get a reply that tells me I called them out this entire episode. And I said calling them out while buying stubs to buy cars doesn't absolve the issue. It only helps justify them putting them behind paywalls. Now, you guys love making these videos. Okay, KDJ, TV, and all you guys. You guys are all in that community of card buying and stubs and all this type of stuff. I still have packs that I got when I brought this thing. I'm gonna show people what I got. This is what I got. None of this I bought. The 24,000 stubs I got from when I brought the early edition. Okay, all right. This is all I got. I haven't even opened this stuff yet. I don't care. Now they say look at odds and all this type of stuff. And I'm telling him, and like I tell everybody who's in that field, in that world there, you're contributing to the nature of the game. So while there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be fans of this game that will be in those comment sections and will say the following thing. They will say this. They're going to say, well, this EA is 10 times worse than them, 60 times worse than them. Their whole entire mode is set up by purchasing stuff and pay to wins and all that stuff. That's not the show at all. That's not MLB The Show. That's not SDS. SDS wouldn't even dare do that. It went from they wouldn't even dare do that to they don't do it as much as EA does to, well, EA is still terrible. If you guys like to cope in life, that's fine. You can ignore reality. You cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And the fact of the matter is that this mode right here, from the minute it was implemented to now, has changed its ways. You heard last night one YouTuber talk about this mode and say that the free cards that are being released are obviously lesser than the ones that are behind a paywall. Okay, we're gonna go to shop. We're gonna see this marketplace. Okay, we're gonna see all of this. Okay, and we're gonna do some simple mathematics here to add everything up to see where we get to. Okay. If you have a game where you have players, okay, that are behind this whole chase program and all this type of stuff, and you sit up here and you look at all these cards and you look at the ratings and you see the overalls, because there will be some who will say that it is not a pay to win. Okay, that you can actually play good with the cards that are issued to you for free in this game. If that was the case, I would not be seeing the amount of videos that I see from these content creators complaining about the current direction in which SDS is going with this. Okay, all right. So this right here is the marketplace. All right, I haven't been in it at all this year because, well, I've had other adventures to take care of. But upon looking at this mode right here, upon looking at this, you see Willie Castro, 299,000, George Springer, 233,000, Pedro Martinez, 239,000, Eric Gagne, 57,000, Jordan Alvarez, 164,000, Bernie Williams, Aaron Judge, 406,000, almost a quarter of a million stubs. Two quarters of a million, so whatever it is. Harold Baines, 19,000. Rafael Palmeiro, 99,000. Andre Munoz, 58,000. They're better than EA, right? Okay, they're better than EA. Better than EA. How are they better? Let's go down here and let's see what your content creators do here. Okay? When your content creator goes out, okay, and talks about SDS and says, SDS, hey guys, it's yours truly, you know, the one you flew out and you gave autographs to and all that type of stuff a long time ago. Yeah, it's me. Listen, I don't like the direction in which you guys are going with this game. I don't like the fact that, like, you know, I'm not going to say it's pay to win. I'm not going to say it's pay to win. I'm just going to say it's a try to advance. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to say it's pay to win. I'm going to say it's a try to advance, okay? When you guys do that, you guys are taking all the good cards away, and you're leaving mid cards that are there that are not as good as the cards that you obviously have bumped up for a reason and put behind a paywall for a reason. I'm not saying you guys are like EA. You guys are way better than EA, even though, you know, much like EA, you have a currency system that's set up here that uses real world monetary value in order to get whatever I want faster than what I could get in the game. Remember what I said in the other video? There's no greater, good, greater, evil. It's all relative. It's all there. It's all what you see in front of you. And I did say that it's worse than, because you know for a front, you know EA is greedy. And they built their whole entire empire on microtransactions. They did. If this is not a pay to win right here, I don't know why. If their motive is not predatory, I don't know why. Now, when you look at a person like me, if I came in here about 2-3 years ago to buy cards with stubs that I got with the package. I just want to know something. I have not paid for stubs in over 10 years for this game. Back in the day, stubs used to be used as currency for Road to the Show for you to boost your players' attributes. Okay? That was before all this whole card hullabaloo. So I'm going to look up here and I'm going to ask this question to Google. I'm going to say, hey, Google, when did Diamond Dynasty get introduced to MLB The Show? Okay. Diamond Dynasty was first introduced to MLB The Show in 2012. Okay. All right. Let's ask another question. Hey, Google, when was Mutt introduced to Madden? Madden Ultimate Team first appeared in Madden NFL 2010. Hey, Google, when did my team show up in 2K? 2013. All of this that you see right now has occurred within 3 years of each other. Okay? NBA 2K was 2013, so 2K was the last one. For everybody who wants to say EA is better, EA Sports was the first one in 2010, Madden 2010. Okay? All right. MLB The Show, 2012, so we're talking 2 years later. And a year later with NBA 2K13. The die has already been casted. Why is that important? Why are the years important? So 2010 was 15 years ago. Okay, so Madden 2011 was the first one. I actually was in line. I went to GameStop to purchase that at the time. I was about 22 years old. I'm dating myself here a little bit. Picked it up. I didn't give a crap about Madden Ultimate Team. I was 22 years old. But you know who did care about Madden Ultimate Team? You know why they were trying to push that onto the dynamic of the game? Because while I was 22 years old, there were people younger than me, say 7 years younger. So 1995, who were 15 years old. Then you go to 2000, who, were 10 years old. So you got a whole generation there that grew up with this. And so now you flash forward to this year. So that means Madden has had MUT in its game for 15 years. MLB The Show has had Diamond Dynasty in its game for 13 years. NBA 2K has had theirs for 12 years. So let's take a hard look. Let's go down this rabbit hole because I'm trying to get somewhere. In order for us to understand where we're going, I have to let everyone know where we came from and how we got to this point. So Madden 2011, NBA 2K13, and MLB The Show 12, okay, 2012, both introduced these modes. Would like to know what Stubbs was used for before MLB The Show 12. Google, when was MLB The Show using Stubbs for MLB The Show has been using Stubbs as its in-game currency since 2014. When did NBA 2K use VC as currency? NBA 2K first introduced their currency in 2013. When did Madden use currency for MUT? In MUT, players build their teams by acquiring players packs using in-game currency coins, and these coins can be earned through gameplay such as winning games or completing in-game achievements. Now you see right there? So in its initial state, when all this stuff was used, it was used in-game. Madden first did their stuff in-game, okay? Now MLB The Show had Diamond Dynasty in 2012, and then they introduced Stubbs in 2014 for MLB Show 14. Still a long time ago. It's about 11 years ago now. Okay. 2K introduced VC 2013. For anybody who was around back then, if you played games prior to NBA 2K13, you would have in-game currency to upgrade your players, buy all the stuff you needed to buy, and all that type of stuff. In Madden, if you wanted to get your cards, you needed to do all the same thing. When did you have to buy stubs for MLB The Show? Purchasing stubs for MLB The Show 21, 22, 23, and 24. So how do you get from that to there? These modes right here were introduced in these sporting games almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. 2010, 15 years ago, 2012, 13 years ago, 2014, 11 years ago. It's almost a full generation. Give about 5, 6, or 8 more years. Give full generation. How do you get from there to this? And you guys still want to sit up here and think that all this stuff is just coincidence. All this stuff is just coincidence. Don't take my word for it. Google it. Look it up for yourselves. All this stuff just takes up by itself. All of it. It just comes out the 2K with the VC and turns into and turns to monetary value just fell out of the sky. Madden with its monetary value and its ranking just fell out of the sky. MLB The Show with its stubs just fell out of the sky. Oh, but they're not just as bad. Guys, they're all one and the same. When 2K started this whole VC thing, Madden was already doing its Mutt Coins thing. When Madden was doing its Mutt Coins thing, MLB The Show was doing its stubs thing. You're looking at 3 different waffles made with the same batter. And you're the fans. You guys are the ones who are delusional, sitting up here saying, "Oh, MLB The Show's a little bit different. They don't have anything. They don't do things the same exact way to EA. EA's predatory. EA does this. EA does that." That's nice. All these modes right here that now have infiltrated your sports games like a virus were all started within 4 years. Within a year of each other. 2010, 2012 within 2, and then you have 2012, 2013. So within 3 years' time, you have sports games now being influenced by collecting cards, single player modes, Diamond Quest, mini seasons, Conquest, Showdown, Play versus CPU. It's all for cards. Multiplayer modes, Ranked, Battle Royale, Events, Play versus Friends, Casual, all for cards. Programs, XP, Team Affinity, assorted programs, all for cards. So from 2010 to 2025, which is 15 years, that is enough time to take a whole new generation and get them hooked on pay-to-win schemes and predatory practices in regards to making live services for sports games and regular games, because game companies got greedy. It wasn't enough to just release a game for you to enjoy and for you to play solely for your own purpose. No, no, no. Au contraire. Now you have a game from August to January. They have to make money. Do you not think people at Sony and SDS are sitting back looking at that and saying, in what way can we profit our stuff? In what way can we make this game basically be infiltrated with MUT, with Diamond Dynasty, with my teams? Oh no, guys, Diamond Dynasty is perfectly fine. It's better than Madden. They're not as predatory. They don't prey on you. So, okay, fine. What was the one thing all these people were complaining about here? That they were basically, like I said, they were basically walking around on eggshells, not wanting to have a stance on anything. Stand 10 toes down and say what's on your mind in this. They spent the whole entire video complaining about cards, okay? Oh, well, this tells me that SDS knows how to kick in the God mode and all this stuff for these stats. And yeah, what do you think? And meanwhile, those cards are behind paywalls. So let me explain how predatory systems work. Let me explain how predatory systems work, okay? This is how predatory stuff works in regards to loot boxes, crates, all this stuff games started to do. I'm focusing on one category of this stuff. This stuff is in every game you know and you see, especially with EA. Who else? EA, Ubisoft, um, Call of Duty, um, Fortnite, and all of them. They all do this. Okay. So I'm not going to try and single out them, but I'm focusing it right here because this all happened around the same exact time. 2010 was the beginning of the end for quality games. When companies started to realize that they took out classic teams, because that used to be in games. You used to be able to play with classic teams. You used to be able to play with throwback uniforms and all that stuff. When they realized that you could now monetize that and put that on the market, that's what they did. In 2006, I believe, 2006 and 2007, on the Xbox 360, Madden started to sell classic stadiums. You can play in the Polo Grounds or the LA Coliseum, I think that's what it was back then. You play the Polo Grounds at LA Coliseum, and you could buy that and add that onto your game. Then and there was the beginning of the end. So the predatory thing, although a lot of them were shaking their knees in their boots, talking about not wanting to call things predatory. Okay. All right, fine. Let me explain to people, gamers here, what a predatory system does. Okay. And a slick, deniable plausibility way to actually make a system predatory. Because some people here, the sheep here who buy this game and play this game, will say, this isn't predatory at all. You can still hustle out and get the cards and everything. That's nice. That's good. Here's what predatory means, okay, in this sense. There's a way for you to get all these cards, okay, if you have the time. I don't know who, whatever. Start any XP path rewards, earn these rewards and more, okay? So let's say you have to do a whole bunch of stuff. You got to go through a team affinity. You got to go through whatever they got you doing. I don't know most of this stuff. I don't participate in this crap. But let's say you do, okay? And you want to unlock all this. One of the major criticisms that KDJ-TV did and Gnome TV and all the rest of them do is they say how long it takes for you to get these cards, and also how long it takes for a person to sit down and achieve all of this stuff. And you have to go 10-0 to get this, and you have to go through all these hurdles and all these flaming rings and all this stuff to get to where you got to go to. What do you think that's going to do to your average person? Your content creators, be it they tell you or they don't, they go right here. They go right here, and they make enough money. They probably make about $1 million or $1,000 or something like that, or hundreds of dollars, and they spend $99.99. So they probably spend about $300 some dollars to get about what, 300, 500 subs. It's 150 plus 150 gives you 300, I think. My math is probably off, but whatever it is, gives you a lot of stuff. So then you go in here, right? And if you're making thousands upon thousands of dollars of gullible, young, dumb kids who follow you and want to give you money and give you super chats and all this type of stuff and pay you, so look at what you can do. Go to Marketplace. I can go MLB cards, sponsorships, all that type of stuff. I do uniforms. Let's see here. Let's do this. I can buy, if I had 300,000 stubs, I could literally buy all of this right here. I don't have to go through the hard work. or see things that's locked behind paywalls for 700,000 stuff. If I could, I would. To be predatory means to prey on. Okay? You're preying on the vulnerability of said person's wants, needs, and desires. That's what you're doing. So let's go on the narrative. Let's go with the scenario that SDS is not as predatory as EA and all this type of stuff. Fine, I'll give you that. At looking at it at face value, this does look better than all the rest of them. But when you first play that game and you see a person across from you play with 99s and all these diamond cards and chase packs and all this type of stuff, okay, all right, and you want to buy these packs, okay, you want to buy these packs, 25,000, 30,000, 75,000, and you want to see, oh, view pack odds. Oh, that's so weird. Why do you need odds? Wow. You know who else does odds? Madden. You know who does all that stuff? Why do you need odds for that? That's so weird. 1 to 8, 1 to 3, 1 to 1. Those are like things I see when I gamble. I do horse racing. I see odds like that. I see odds. I see money lines. I see all that stuff. Now, imagine you have a 10-year-old kid and your kid is in here looking at this stuff. $30,000. Look at the odds. 1 in 50. 1 in 10. 1 in 1. See, I'm an adult. I know what odds are. I'm legally able to gamble. They're not predatory, right? They're not the bad guy. They're just doing all this for fun and sugar and giggles. So it's human nature. If as a human being, if I tap into my lower self, I'm going to want to take the least path of resistance instead of going through the hard stuff and earning everything. If I see that there's a way for me to earn what you got faster by taking a quicker route, I'm going to do that. Far more people are going to do that than less. Because it's human nature. We are here to thrive, survive, and then we die. That's it. Okay? So look at this. Your chase packs are now attached to that. Featured items. So with your chase pack, you do a 1 to 1, and then you do a 1 to 16. These are odds. I want people to see this. These are odds here. I don't even open up my crap, but let's open up one. Okay. Here's my odds. 1 in 50 get an 85 plus player. So let's open a pack. All right, you're going to sit up here and you're going to do all this. Now, you see the type of bums that they put in these cards, in these card packs? You get a 65, 53, 57, 71. Now, imagine you're a 15-year-old kid or you're a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, and you're sitting up here and you want to do this, right? Okay, earn in the show 24. Let's do this. Okay, what's this? We're going to flip shortstop. Okay. So you got a diamond player. All right. So look at the odds of that. All right. When you look at the odds of that, you look at that. 1 to 1. So you get it. There is an odd added to your cards to keep you chasing. Because much like 2K, they're going to make the system more difficult for you to want to just sit by and deal with this stuff. They're going to give you an outlet in order for you to make the packs, in order for you to get the cards you want to get. So outwardly, of course, it doesn't look like it's pay to play. You get access to all these cards every single session. You can unlock cards playing baseball games. You can unlock cards doing this. You can unlock cards doing that. But do you really want to do it? Some of your best YouTubers who don't mention a single thing about this mode right here will take Costco headquarters and go to Road to the Show or playing Diamond Dynasty and crack off bats and home runs. Now, a person's argument will be to this is that, much like the steroid argument was in Major League Baseball, just because they take steroids doesn't necessarily mean they're cheating, because guess what? It still takes talent and skill to see the ball, hit the ball. Yeah, but why did you take the steroids? So you can get a quicker advantage to what you wanted to achieve than what you would if you would have played it normally. All right, cool. Here we go again. Why did the Astros cheat? Oh, the Astros didn't need to cheat. Mike Elias, when he was there, made sure that all the draft pieces and everybody were good to go and everything in position. That's nice. Why did little Shorty over there have a wire underneath his jersey? Why were they banging trash cans in the dugout and stuff like that? They were a great team. Didn't need none of that stuff. That's cool. Nice to know. Why did they use it? They used it because even though they, quote unquote, were good, they knew that they could actually win if they did cheat. Now, I'm not considering this to be cheating, but what I am saying is it is an advantage to have if you are financially able to do so. And if you're going to be able to do so, you are going to do so. Now, when I first started MLB The Show and I made creative ballparks, I used to make a ballpark for offline, and I used to make a ballpark for Diamond Dynasty because I had Oriole teams that I wanted to play with and use it on here. And I got sick and tired of people seriously just crapping on Stadium Creator. I got sick and tired of SDS putting more attention into this mode right here. And this thing is decked out. It has everything on here. This right here is a game within itself. They put more emphasis on fixing this mode right here and making this mode great and grand than what they do co-op, what they did fixing co-op, what they did fixing Stadium Creator. Every Friday, almost every Friday, they send out a girl and a guy who sit up there for an hour long and talk about baseball cards. Not baseball cards you collect, not baseball cards that are autographed, not the stuff you buy from the store. Digital cards that don't amount to anything. And will have you running around crazy for cards that you get no monetary value off of, while you are sitting up here being brainwashed and listening to your favorite YouTuber who goes out and buys $100 worth of stubs, $200 worth of stubs, telling you not to do what they do because they're professional, while they complain about the system that they're aiding and abetting with. The system that these YouTubers are now complaining about is something they contributed to. The reason why I brought up Madden starting in 2010 and 2K starting in 2013 and MLB The Show starting in 2012 is that you can significantly point out when those modes came in and they were just a little tidbit mode that they put in the corner somewhere if you were interested in and all that type of stuff. And then you look at Madden through the years, Madden 2015, which was Madden 2014, which was 25, 25th year anniversary, 26, 27, 17, 18, 19, all that. You start to see how it became more influential in the game. And as it became more influential in the game, guess what happened? The quality of the game started going down because it was evident that, like I said before, you're going to put more effort into things that are going to be your interest in what they are if they're not. Okay? So they put more emphasis in these modes. These modes then started implementing themselves into every single facet of your game. Like the weird finger lady that was in Wolverine and Deadpool. That was, I think it was Xavier's sister. like that lady, that's what they do with this. Diamond Dynasty is no longer a mode. Diamond Dynasty is the cerebral system that exists within this game. Every single thing here deals with it, breathes because of it, and functions with it. It is the nervous system, it is the cerebral cortex, it is the blood, the bone, the sinew, the living organs of these games. They don't fix the game unless it fits around Diamond Dynasty. So every single thing you do when you go to storylines, okay? All right, when you go to storylines right here, right? This isn't a separate mode right here. All these accomplishments that you're doing right here, all what they do is they contribute to, and let me bring it up here, they contribute to all of the packs. Bat skins, open pack. This comes from you playing in that mode. Ain't got nothing to do with Diamond Dynasty. Okay, let's go here. Uniforms, open pack. Birmingham, Grays, Pittsburgh, all of this. This isn't in the game. Need I remind you, you can't access these uniforms in the game unless you create them for Diamond Dynasty, which you got to be very talented to do so. Okay? All of this is in the game. And you know where it's siphoned to? It goes back to one mode. Let's go to the polar bear in the room, the big elephant in the room. Let's go here. Okay? Everything circumvents this. Everything rotates around this. This is a gravitational pull that Diamond Dynasty has now become. This game and mode that a lot of the people who believe in this and are disciples of this pay to win delusion say doesn't have an influence in your game. Okay, cool. Let me show you this. Let me show you this created stadium. What is this? It's batter's eye, right? Do you know that we asked for this to be optional? We actually want Stadium Creator away from Diamond Dynasty. But we all know the reason why they built Diamond Dynasty and built Stadium Creator was so that they two could mesh and be together. And so guess what rules you have to implement here? Okay. No bullpen. No bullpen. Can't move them. Everything's all basic generic design. This right here can't be moved, can't be deleted, can't be gotten rid of. When you look at the ads and the commercials back to when they actually did give a damn about this mode, the commercials that they did align themselves with the material and content they released in Diamond Dynasty. This mode right here even functions because of the necessity it needs to have in Diamond Dynasty. They don't have the gumption within them, the testicular fortitude, if you must, to make this mode stand by itself or create an option to where if people who are Diamond Dynasty loons can go in here and pick their own crap, go and change it. They even changed the exit velocity in Stadium Creator because of taking it online in Diamond Dynasty. Here's another reason why this is so centered around Diamond Dynasty. This right here is able to be played online. Well, it was until the mode is crap. But in theory, this is what it's supposed to be. Okay? Here it is. Changing wall dimensions will make this stadium unavailable for use in competitive play. You can convert this at any time by selecting a wall preset. So when you change this, okay, all right, that bat sign comes up. That means you can't play competitively online. You don't even need the intentions to play online. That sign will show up there and tell you everything you need to know. So this whole thing is basic, bare bone, and functions for the sake of ingraining itself in Diamond Dynasty's DNA. That is why modes like this and modes like the one that's in 2K, Madden, FIFA, and all of them are toxic. They're toxic, they're predatory, they're pay to win. They ruin the whole entire game. They make the whole game Diamond centric, Diamond Dynasty centric, Mutt centric, 2K My Team centric. You can't go one step in this game without seeing something talk about this. So the next time you hear your favorite YouTubers talk about and like to dance around the issue and never be straightforward and ask if this is a pay to win, ask if this is a predatory system, ask if it's any of these things because it's too strong of a word, ask yourself this one question. If you see this video, if you don't see this video, you gotten a quick rundown, okay, of the history of this stuff. All these modes came out within 3 years of each other, from 2010 to 2013 or 2012, okay? At worst, maybe 2 years within each other, okay? And it wasn't, and I use quotes again, perfected until the mid 2010s into now. So the next time you pick up a game, I want you guys who are young to go play a game prior to Madden 2010. I want you to play a baseball game prior to MLB Show 12, and I want you to play a basketball game, NBA 2K11, because I got it when it came out. And I want you guys to see the quality of those games in a specific time and era. And then I want you to see the quality of your games now in this weird, predatory treasure box, loot crate opening stuff with odds and everything. As a kid, I knew nothing about 1 to 50. I know that that's 1 in 50 chances you have to get that. That's a betting term. That's stuff that you see in betting and gambling. 1 in 10, 1 in 50. Those are odds. This is a baseball game, by the way, which ironically frowns down upon gambling. But we all know that's a joke because they're sponsored by what? DraftKings. Take a look for yourself. This is why I'm passionate about all this stuff because, you know, as I get older, they don't make these games for me, okay? They don't make these games for people who go straight to Stadium Creator and build that stuff. They make games for people who follow that big red bearded dude on Facebook or YouTube who spends $500 on tokens. So your 10 to 15-year-olds, that's who they make this stuff for. They don't make this stuff for people like me. People like me would get rid of this thing in a heartbeat. This Diamond Dynasty stuff is crap. And the only people who follow it are people who are on YouTube who are looking for a quick follow, a quick subscription, so that they can get up in the ranks and start selling stuff and buying stubs and then get flown out by, you know, all of them. But like, I have no hesitation to say this. You guys are part of the problem. You and all of you, gnomes and all of you guys. And I'm not trying to call anybody out, be nasty, be negative, but unconsciously or consciously, you have to realize by you guys contributing to this mode and giving it the attention that you give it and buying stubs and buying cards and everything, you're telling SDS that you are perfectly okay with the direction that this is going. And the sad thing about it is you guys don't know it yet. But you guys are creating a monster that you can't control and you can't contain. Because all the while, you think it's not as bad as Madden. It's not as bad as Madden. It's not as bad as Madden. It's not as predatory as Madden. No, it's worse. It's worse than Madden. Because this game likes to act like it's not doing the same thing. When anybody who has a pair of eyes can clearly see, this is the direction it's heading into. This game right here, MLB The Show 25, all right, we're heading into deep May right now. This game, as of this video, is still broken. Stadium Creator can't be used in head-to-head matches. It took how long to fix co-op? There's 11 patches in this game, and it's only been out for 2.5 months. 2 months. Tomorrow with the early release. 2-month anniversary of that. And then 4 days later, 2-month anniversary of it actually being out. It's up to you what assessment you want to make in this situation. It's up to you what you want to, what you want to do and what you want to go with in this. It's up to you. Like how you want to see what they put the most attention towards in this. This is not they're not unconscious to the direction that things are going in. They know very well where the direction is going because they hired people to put it in that direction. But if you're going to sit up here and make videos and complain all the time about this, it's not Madden, guys, it's not EA, but you know it's coming. And you see them doing their tactics of manipulating statistics and stats and power levels on cards and all that stuff. And you see where that's going. It's up to you to say something about it and stop participating in that system that creates it. But we all know you're not going to do that because one video you're going to complain about it, and the next video you're going to come out with another video about the cards that are coming out and how to get them. You're the problem.